The company get a Male Elixir versus Male Elixir Absolu. By the end of this video, you're going to know which one's the best for you and which one you should stay away from. But remember, fragrance is all about nuance, so make sure you watch it all. If you worn Male Elixir for quite a bit, then you probably know what a compliment getter is. The question is Male Elixir Absolu better, or is it just a cash grab like a lot of people seem to think? Which one is the best? So I'm gonna quickly go through both of them, what they smell like, compare them in different ways and share which one I think is the best. But I really wanna know how you feel about these two and which of them you think is the best. So make sure you put that in the comments. And I appreciate if you drop a like on this video and make sure you subscribe if you're brand new. So the original Male Elixir, at least to my nose, opens up with a bit of that Male DNA. You get a bit of aromatic brightness and freshness from lavender, and that freshness is brightened up a little bit by a dose of mint. So think lavender with a hint of mint, and pretty much right away you get a bit of sweetness. Male Elixir Absolu does have some similarities to the OG in the opening. Absolu, like the original, puts focus on a dose of lavender, but its opening is definitely a bit warmer with a spicy kick, and you don't have that freshness from the mint that you have in Male Elixir. So Male Elixir Absolu is more about the combination of lavender with a bit of spicy warmth, and pretty much right away, like with the OG, you get a bit of sweetness. The main differences in the opening is that the OG Male Elixir is a bit fresher, whereas Absolu is slightly warmer, and I also pick up on a difference in the sweetness. And that difference is easier to pick up on as they both move away from the opening. The OG Male Elixir sweetness turns into this honey-like kind of sweetness, and in comes a big but gorgeous dose of vanilla. So at this point, Male Elixir is basically a combination of vanilla, you have that honey-like kind of sweetness going on, and you still have a bit of the aromatic freshness and brightness from lavender and a bit of the freshness from mint cutting through it all. So the heart of Male Elixir Absolu, at least to my nose, is a bit different while they do share that vanilla. And to my nose, the main difference is its sweetness, which is more of a fruity kind. Male Elixir has that honey-like kind of sweetness, whereas Male Elixir Absolu is more fruity sweet. Plum, plum, plum and plum. That was one of the main things I complain about in my first impressions of Male Elixir. Nowadays though, I can actually pick up on that plum a bit better. And at this point, Absolu is basically a combination of vanilla. You have plum with its fruitiness and sweetness. You still have a bit of spicy warmth to it all, and you can still pick up on a bit of the aromatic freshness and brightness from lavender. So there are some similarities for sure, but at the same time some clear differences. And in a way, I sort of think that the overall feel and scent of Absolu is a bit fuller, so this feels like it has more depth to it. However, at the same time, I also feel that the OG has more layers and nuances to it. So I know that might sound weird, so perhaps another way to describe it is that, at least to my nose, I can more clearly pick up on more nuances and more easily identify the different layers in the OG Male Elixir than I can in the newer Absolu. And that's in a way a bit weird, because I do believe that the Male Elixir Absolu has more ingredients in it. So the drawdown is where I feel it gets even easier to pick up on the differences. The more the OG Male Elixir heads into the drawdown, the more I feel the vanilla starts to take over the entire thing. And at the same time, the whole thing gets even sweeter and the lavender starts to get softer. But the two main things that happens in the drawdown of Male Elixir is that the whole thing starts to get a bit amber warm, and you start picking up on a bit of salt and warm tobacco. And to sum up the OG Male Elixir, it's basically vanillic, aromatic and sweet. Its aromatic freshness gets a bit of nuance thanks to a dose of mint, and its sweetness leans towards something that, at least to my nose, is a bit honey-like. And underneath all of that, you get a soft dose of warm tobacco. The drawdown is where I think Absolu changes in the way in that the whole thing gets quite intensely amber and a bit more sweet. So you have a prominent dose of amber warmth and shine in the drawdown, together with quite a noticeable dose of sweetness and also quite a prominent dose of vanilla. I know some of you get a ton of plum from Male Elixir Absolu. However, in the drawdown, at least to my nose, unfortunately, I do feel the plum loses some of its intensity. And I also feel it loses quite a bit of its aromatic freshness and brightness in the drawdown. The contrast that the lavender brings with its aromatic freshness and brightness is less noticeable in the drawdown of Male Elixir Absolu than it is in the OG. And sort of a simplified, Le Male Elixir Absolu is basically a combination of vanilla. The whole thing is quite intensely ambery. You definitely get a bit of fruitiness with the sweetness from plum and a bit of aromatic freshness and brightness from lavender. So I mean, both are vanillic, both are definitely quite sweet, and both are definitely a bit aromatic. And both are ambery, but the main difference, at least to my nose, is the sweetness. We basically have fruity sweetness versus a more honey-like kind of sweetness. The OG has a bit more aromatic freshness and brightness, whereas Le Male Elixir Absolu has more of a spicy kick to it. So let's quickly compare them when it comes to the vibe, and I definitely feel both have a sexy and flirty vibe, but there's definitely a bit of a nuance to that sexy vibe, and I do feel that the OG Le Male Elixir pushes that sexiness and flirtiness a bit more, whereas in Le Male Elixir Absolu, that sexiness is combined with a hint of class and elegance. Le Male Elixir Absolu feels a bit more sort of a polished and classy, whereas Le Male Elixir, the OG, feels a bit more rugged and in a way a bit more masculine. So let's quickly compare them when it comes to compliments and mass appeal, and having worn both quite a bit, both are definitely compliment monsters. These are two fragrances that it's extremely rare that I don't get a nice comment after I spray them on. Let me know if you've worn any of these and if you received any compliments for them. So when it comes to compliments and mass appeal, it's almost a tie between these two. However, I have received more compliments for the OG Le Male Elixir. And again, it's almost a tie this time when it comes to the performance. I quickly do want to say that the performance nowadays with Le Male Elixir Absolu is better than when I bought it. But even so, I'm getting slightly better performance with my bottle of Le Male Elixir. The OG Le Male Elixir, at least on my skin, projects a bit better and lasts a bit longer. But these two are very close when it comes to the performance. And overall, the performance of these is strong. So let's compare them when it comes to usage. And honestly, I do use both throughout the year, but with the focus on spring, summer nights, fall and winter. Both of these are definitely leaning a bit more towards colder weather. However, if you have not tried wearing Le Male Elixir on summer nights, then you're missing out. When it comes to occasions, like I always say, wear whatever you want whenever it makes you happy. But the overall sexy and flirty vibe of both, together with a strong performance, make them both absolutely perfect for date nights and going out. I do not feel these are fragrances you should consider spraying on if you want something discreet on you, because these are clearly not discreet scents. Both of these are head turners when you want to get noticed and stand out. But with that said, even though I do think both are pretty much perfect for date nights and going out, I want both for casual occasions like going out for a cup of coffee, as well as more formal occasions dressed to the nines. Always remember that the scent adds to you, your vibe, your aura, and how you come across. So who are these for? I'm gonna try and make it as simple as I can. I do feel this sort of a baseline here is that you should know that you absolutely love quite sweet fragrances and that you absolutely love the scent of vanilla. I feel one of the sort of key differences here is that if you enjoy more of a fruity kind of sweetness, then it's Absolu. If you think you prefer more of a honey-like kind of sweetness, then it's the OG Le Male Elixir. If you think you prefer a bit more sort of aromatic freshness and brightness, then it's probably Le Male Elixir. But if you're someone who absolutely loves a spicy kick in your fragrances, then it's definitely the spicy warmth that Absolu has. Stay away if you absolutely dislike any kind of sweetness, and if you usually stay away from vanilla focus scents. So which Le Male Elixir is the best? So I've used both quite a bit, and Le Male Elixir Absolu has grown on me a lot. I've always enjoyed Absolu, but I do enjoy it even more now. And the OG Le Male Elixir has been amongst my top compliment gear since I bought it. I do feel this is an absolutely stunning scent. And honestly, sometimes it's actually quite hard to pick up on all the different nuances in both. So for this comparison, I've actually sniffed my way through them both a ton of times throughout the entire day. And I have so much experience of wearing both. But one thing is very different when I compare them for this video. I discovered that I think that Le Male Elixir Absolu has a bit sort of a fuller kind of scent. But fuller doesn't always equal layers and nuances. And a big difference in the drawdown, if you look beyond what they actually smell like, is that in the OG Le Male Elixir, I can more easily pick up on all the different nuances and ingredients. So Le Male Elixir, at least to my nose, has more layers and nuances to it. So I believe Le Male Elixir Absolu actually has more ingredients and notes in it, but even so, at least to my nose, it almost feels like they sort of packed all those notes into this without having that much of a separation between them all. And what that ultimately means to me is that I do feel the OG Le Male Elixir is a bit more exciting. Le Male Elixir is just overall a more exciting and nuanced kind of scent, at least to me. So yeah, between these two, oh yes, oh yes. So this is what I want to hear from you. If you compare these two, which do you think is the best and why? Let me know in the comments. Drop a like on this video. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe if you're brand new here, and make sure you check out my other videos over there.